Hi folks, my perspective here. I want you to imagine that you'd been given a gold bar. You'd no doubt recognize its value and keep it. You wouldn't give it away. Now you have been given something just as valuable. And what this gold bar represents is your ability to measure and question the world that you live in. You see, as you see things around you and you measure them, you come up with answers. This is your God-given ability to question, reason, and think. And you expect the answer to match the question. The answer must measure up. If the answer falls short or is somehow distorted in some way, then we measure it against the question, and if it doesn't correlate, we reject the answer. Now in the world we live in, we get given answers that don't make sense, and so we don't skew the question now so that it matches the answer. No, the question is that it is as it is. The answers must match the question. In the world and in the education system, you see, we are given the questions and we're given the answers. You see, these aren't your questions. It's the questions that you are given. And if you question that, you see, then you are ridiculed. Either the question or the person asking the question is ridiculed. That's the way the game is played. So don't throw your right and your ability to look and think, your golden ruler that you measure the world around you, what we see with our eyes and what we experience in life. Don't stop asking these questions. Now recently, Anthony Cumia had Neil deGrasse Tyson on his show, and they ridiculed our right to question and look for answers in the world that we see around us. You see, our right was attacked to question and reason and think. So what we're going to do is the same ruler that they use to measure us, we're going to use that ruler against them. So I've got snippets from the show, and let's look and see whether Anthony and Neil deGrasse Tyson actually measure up who they claim they say they are. Do they stand for truth, or is it just a show? Part of the delusional world that we are represented with.
There are a group of people that absolutely and honestly believe in 2016 the earth is flat. The earth is flat. Flat. Now, I'm looking right out there at Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is he still out there? Yeah. Now, I'm looking right out there at Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is he still out there? Yeah. Now, I'm looking right out there at Neil deGrasse Tyson. Is he still out there? Yeah. Yeah. Fights for TV rating. Neil, if you could just take a seat for a second. I need an answer to this. I saw something over the weekend. Yeah.
I try to show people that science is a way of understanding. And you can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science.
That it's science.
Because you throw some science words behind it.
Well, Neil, let me...
Makes it easy to forget the choices that I made.
About this, all China has to do is leak a memo saying they want to put military bases on Mars. Doesn't have to be true. Leak it, right? We'd be on Mars in 10 months. Oh, my God. And you can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. 1 month to design, build, fund the spacecraft, 9 months to get there. We have colonies, cities. Okay. So you can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. Build, fund the spacecraft, 9 months to get there. We have colonies, cities. Okay. So you can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. 1 month to design, build, fund the spacecraft, 9 months to get there. We have colonies, cities. Okay. So you can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. You do, but somebody's got to write the check. What's the return on investment? I don't know, probably nothing. Somebody else do. This is what governments do. This is what governments do. This is what governments do. There's got to be some economic motivation. Is there oil on Mars or diamond mines on Mars? You can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. Other than that, I've lost confidence that just political will is sufficient to make any of that happen.
Talk about how fucking much horseshit that is.
And if you have big, ambitious, big, hairy, audacious goals. What did the astronaut do then? They're going to step down on a comet, on an asteroid. They're going to deflect an asteroid that might hit us. Oh my gosh, headlines. You can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. That's what governments do that have much longer time horizon. What's the return on investment? I don't know, probably nothing. What that frontier is? Let's say you want to be an attorney. What you're going to say, I want to write the new laws that'll affect mining asteroid. You can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. Who owns an asteroid when you arrive there?
It opens up a lot.
All of a sudden. You can't just pull stuff out of your ass and claim that it's science. We do, but somebody's got to write the check.
He'll talk about how fucking much horseshit that is.
The choices that I made will never lie in the first place. But now
great time.
Trying to keep the universe going.
It's all great time.
Trying to keep the universe going.
Let's all do that.
Somebody's got to do it.
in the first place. But now I found out that I'm opting out to discover what I want and what I need. We are fabricated, we will fight to control.
Well, it turns out I was recently in Dubai, where they have the tallest building in the world, and I did a quick calculation, and I confirmed it with others there, that in fact they print separate tables for residents at the top of this building because the sun sets later if you are at the top of that building than if you are at the base, because that building, and for you have it up there now, that's the actual tweet from the top. This building is 30% taller than what the World Trade Center was. It's crazy tall, and that's a picture I took while I was visiting Dubai. So the sun sets 2 minutes later for you at the top because you're seeing that much farther over the Earth,
over
curvature of the
horizon.
Earth. Yeah.
Well, I don't know if they'd have an answer for that.
No, they
either.
can't. They wouldn't.
But here's
Well, it's called perspective. You see, anything that moves away from you as it gets towards the horizon, it'll converge to a vanishing point. Everything converges to the horizon, and if the sun moves behind the horizon, well, it's out of range of the human eye. So, the sun's height above the earth is constant, and all the floors of the Burj Khalifa tower, they're all horizontal with the floor. And this is important, and we're going to get to this now. But from your perspective, if you're standing on the ground, if you raise your position, well, you see more of the ground and the sun would set later. Because the convergence lines, your angle is different at the top than at the bottom. These lines and the floors of the tower are all parallel. So how is this of value to us? Well, look at this image. Look where the sun is. Look at the light on the floor. How can the sun reflect off the floor, all the floors of their building, even at the top and at the bottom? The sun always reflects off each floor. So let's look at that. The sun should be below you. How can this, if the sun is below you, how can it still reflect on top of the floor? No matter how high you go in that tower, the sun is always above the floor. So what they're saying is, even in midday, you see the sun should stop reflecting on the floors as the earth turns. But yet the sun is always above the floor. Even at sunset, this tells you that you're not on a ball. The sun would be below the floor if the earth was a ball. But on each floor, you see, if you look at this image, the sun is reflecting off the floor and off the ocean because they're both parallel, because the sun is above the floor and above the ocean. You see, look at this image. You just have to look and look at the light. You've got two reference points here, the sun and the reflection of the sun off the ocean and off the earth. How can the light bend around the curve of the ball? It cannot. You're seeing the reflection, and this is real footage taken from the top of the tower. The sun should be dropping straight below, but it moves away from you. See, watch the sun, it moves away. This is real footage. Ask yourself, you know, if you are on a small yacht or on a small island, you see the sun rise, you see the reflection of the sun, and you see the sun in the frame, the same frame of reference. And you see the reflection of the sun on the ocean for 12 hours, from sunrise to sunset. Well, if the earth's a ball, how is this possible? This is impossible if the earth's a ball. For this to happen, that whole chunk of ocean that you're viewing has to be flat. So for 12 hours, you see the sunrise, and the reflection distorts in the morning. And as the sun approaches you, that reflection gets smaller. You see, you have two frames of reference. You have 2 points of reference, the sun and the reflection on the earth. Both are supposed to be at different distances from you. The sun is supposed to be at 150 million kilometers away. And the reflection on the water is supposed to be, well, however far you can see it. So if the earth's a ball, the reflection, the hot spot from the sun, would stay constant in the same position. You would move through that. And you couldn't see that for 12 hours. You couldn't even see it for 6 hours. You'd see it for even less than an hour. Do you understand? You would only see it when you cross over it as you're spinning around on this ball. You cannot see the sun's hot spot on the floor at 6 o'clock in the morning when the sun rises or at sunset. So as the Earth turns, right, so in this case, it doesn't matter if it's spinning east to west, because it's nonsense. If that's the hotspot, you'd actually be passing through that hotspot. Now you would see it when you approach it. You would move through the hotspot. And once the hotspot is past that curve that you can observe, you can't see it anymore. So these are the golden questions that science should be asking, but they don't want you to ask these questions. Now here are two wingsuit skydivers. Here's a golden question for you. How can these skydivers fly around the Khalifa Tower if the Khalifa Tower is spinning on the Earth's axis? The Earth's middle axis is rotating, so the top of the tower will be spinning faster than the bottom. Right? These skydivers can spin around this tower as the Khalifa Tower is spinning around the center of the Earth's axis. At the same time, the Khalifa Tower is flying through space faster than the speed of a rifle bullet. But yet these skydivers can maintain that same distance as they fall to the Earth. You see, gravity is pulling them down to the Earth. What is pushing them sideways to keep up to pace with the Earth? And when they open their parachutes, their sudden change in speed as they fall, they should see a noticeable change in the Earth's movement, but they don't. And the reason why is the Earth's not spinning. The Earth is not a spinning ball. It's a fixed plane. It's not moving. This is what we see, and we see evidence every day in everyday things. You see, but they don't want you to ask these questions.
The sun is only 4,000 miles away on this plate. 4,000 miles away.
Yeah, that's
This is, but people believe it.
It's 860,000 miles across.
Now you're just splitting hairs.
I know. I'm sorry. Yeah,
You're just splitting.
Okay, so now this works its way down into the educational pipeline.
We're up pretty high, our heads are almost in the clouds, and their feet are chained to the ground with their chains of misery. They've got a hold of me, they won't let go of me. Let go of me. They might have gravity on their side, but something's pulling us high. Got the potential to fly. Don't let them be what holds you back from this one